Could Caitlin Clark leave the WNBA for new Unrivaled 3x3 basketball league? With the Paris 2024 Olympics now concluded, attention has quickly turned back to the various domestic professional leagues of many sports across the globe, not the least of which is the WNBA. Of course, that's not just because of the increased interest in women's basketball, but rather the announcement of a new league that could potentially pull stars away. Caitlin Clark clears the air on new 3x3 league. The 2024-25 WNBA season is about to enter its second half, and with that, the Indiana Fever are currently sitting on an 11-15 record, which is good enough for 7th in the league. What that means is that the team is clinging to its playoff hopes by a thread and will need to go on a string of consecutive wins if it is to make its first postseason appearance since 2016. There is, however, an upside, which is that the Fever have Caitlin Clark on their roster, and she's worth every bit of the hype. And that's before we touch on the idea that she's made it clear she will do everything she can to help the team clinch a spot in the playoffs. Yet it may just be that Clark and co. face a challenge that has nothing to do with their opponents, but rather another league altogether, namely the new Unrivaled 3x3 league, which is set to debut in January 2025. Indeed, there has been intense speculation surrounding the new league, which has reportedly been formed by several WNBA stars, including Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. As one can imagine, the natural question has been whether the league will entice players in the WNBA to join, which in turn has led to questions aimed at Clark, currently the WNBA's biggest star. When asked directly about whether she had any interest in playing in the new league, Clark chose the safe road, indicating that she's focused on the here and now rather than what lies ahead. "Honestly, I'm just focused on this right now," Clark said. "One thing at a time. Can't always just be moving on to the next. My focus is right here." Now, it's worth noting that Clark's response wasn't an outright no, and when we consider the fact that players such as Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, Kelsey Plum, and Areco Gunboyle have already signed up for the inaugural season, that's not entirely surprising. In terms of the why, it's understood that the aim of the league is to offer WNBA players the opportunity to play in the United States during the offseason. To that end, the league will run for 8 weeks and feature 30 players divided into 6 teams according to an official press release. Ultimately, it would be safe to assume that this is a developing story. There is likely more to come where Clark specifically is concerned, given what her introduction to the WNBA did for the women's game in terms of promotion, and above all, television ratings. That's before we touch on the fact that she has progressively delivered where it matters most, the court. On the season so far, the former Iowa star has averaged 17.1 points and 8